Few pieces of internet horror have captured the imagination quite like the Russian sleep experiment. Often presented as a true classified document or leaked Soviet-era research file, the story tells of a group of test subjects who were supposedly kept awake for 15 days using a powerful stimulant gas. What begins as a chilling tale of science gone wrong ends in grotesque madness, cannibalism, and transformation, cementing its place as one of the most disturbing examples of online fakelore. Though entirely fictional, the legend continues to thrive in forums, videos, and creepypasta collections, feeding a fascination with the blurred line between science and nightmare. According to the story, the Soviet Union in the late 1940s or early 1950s selected political prisoners as test subjects. They were promised freedom if they could endure a prolonged sleep deprivation experiment. Locked in a sealed chamber and exposed to experimental gas, the subjects were closely monitored by microphones and small porthole windows. At first, they conversed normally, but after several days without sleep, their behavior shifted. They whispered to themselves, spoke to walls, and fell into paranoia. By the 9th day, the subjects began screaming uncontrollably, tearing at their own flesh, and mutilating one another. Eventually, they became monstrous shells of humanity, begging to stay awake rather than return to unconsciousness. The climax of the tale is both gruesome and tragic. Guards entered the chamber to subdue the survivors, only to discover beings barely recognizable as human, obsessed with the idea of staying awake. Their final words often vary by retelling, but they always leave readers with the same horrifying impression that beneath the veil of consciousness lies something monstrous, waiting to emerge if we tamper with the natural order of sleep. What makes the Russian sleep experiment so enduring is its blend of plausibility and horror. The story plays on the public's fascination with Cold War secrecy and the very real history of unethical experiments conducted by governments during the 20th century. Projects like MKUltra and other classified programs serve as grim reminders that such atrocities were not entirely fictional, making the tale of Soviet sleep research believable enough to stick. The clinical tone in which the story is often written also mimics leaked documents, giving it an unsettling sense of authenticity. Despite being debunked countless times, the legend refuses to fade. It circulates in horror forums, creepypasta archives, and YouTube narration channels, often illustrated with disturbing artwork of skeletal, hollow-eyed figures that have become inseparable from the myth. These visuals help cement the narrative in the minds of audiences who may not care whether it is fact or fiction, only that it is terrifying. The Russian sleep experiment reflects deeper cultural fears. It embodies anxiety about science pushing boundaries it should not cross, about the dangers of dehumanization, and about the fragility of the mind when stripped of something as essential as sleep. At its core, the story resonates because it suggests that horror is not supernatural, but hidden inside us, waiting to be unleashed by desperation, cruelty, or scientific arrogance. As with all great fakelore, the story persists not because it is true, but because it feels like it could be true. That tension between plausibility and impossibility is what gives it power. Whether encountered in text, video adaptations, or podcasts, the Russian sleep experiment continues to unsettle new audiences and remind us of how easily fiction can masquerade as reality in the digital age. It may be a fake Soviet experiment, but in the realm of online horror, its impact is very real.